Man, I've been had this shirt.
You did?
Yeah, I've been had this shirt.
Art.
Austino, my brother, we back in the building. Boy, that was a strong grip, man. I like that. It's a man shape.
Oh man, I was on the bench press today.
Man, you was on the bench press and you want to raise your seat up because you looking like, man, you trying to show out with the extra strong, firm handshake. I'm like, I like it. God damn it, it made me have to pump my seat up when we was looking at this, man. I'm like, hold on, I see Austino's coming with the extra manness. So shoot, let's get it. I see we got
Topo Chico.
Our non-sponsored Topo. Our non-sponsored
like
Topo Chico. But
hey, it's practice for when we do get a sponsor.
Exactly. You know, practice
or we're gonna
for
be our own
placement.
sponsors.
Exactly.
So
when we get to that big time stage, you know, we put our own stuff on.
We put our own water bottles with glass.
Exactly.
Yeah.
I mean, you never know what the future holds for us.
Exactly.
I mean, you know, anything's possible, you know, especially we just...
Let me help you out.
Oh, yeah, I appreciate you, because, you know...
We ain't got the bottle open.
Yeah.
We still
we'll pick that up later. So you said you was at the bench, did the bench press today?
Yes, sir.
Had a good day at the gym?
Yeah, it was a good day at the gym. Just worked all the body parts, like the back, you know, the arms, the chest, the legs. Okay. And then I went in the sauna.
You a sauna guy?
Yes, I love the sauna.
You do?
Yeah.
Is it? Cause I think I only went to the sauna like maybe, I think once or something, and that was like back when I was in the military, and it was pretty different. It was a different experience. It was interesting. I mean, I didn't do it no more after that. My deployment got cut short, so
it helps you get all the toxins out of your body, sweat it out, and basically, you know what a flu is?
A flu?
So it's
like the flu,
or just a flu in general. So what a flu is your body reacting to the virus that's in your body.
Okay.
So it's sweating all of it. It's trying to sweat. It's trying to push it out with actually not dropping your temperature, but raising the temperature in your body to get the virus out of you. So in a sense, it also, you know, I'm not a sauna expert, but you know, I've been doing it for like almost 6 years. Is that it also kills
You've been in the sauna for 6 years?
Yeah.
God, okay.
Well, a little break during COVID because there was no gym
and
anything like that. Yeah. But it helps kill the dead cells and then rejuvenate the, you know, out with the old and with the new. So I like the way it feels. It also has almost a psychological benefit when you get out, and that there's like a cooling process or like some type of hormone. I can paraphrase these scientists, but I can't. You're gonna have to do your own research, and then everybody's individual. You gotta see if you can even withstand something like that. But, you know, there was this one time, I do remember in the sauna.
Oh, you passed out?
No, well, I was kept moving around, got fidgety. Sometimes you see me on camera, I'm a little fidgety. But I'm just like, you know, the time is like slow. You're in like slow motion when you're in the sauna. Like 10 seconds feels like a minute. Like 30 seconds feels like 3 minutes. Like, so it's just like the guy was like, he just saw me out of nowhere. I had my headphones on and he said, hey. And I was just like, and it's rarely you talk in the sauna, but you know, every once in a while you'll find a good conversation in the sauna. So he was like, just calm down. He said that to me.
Was that your first time or?
No, I've been going, but it was just like, I was like 17 minutes in, and I was just getting like fidgety, and the guy just saw me. And he said, just, calm down. And I did that. And I just, exactly. I didn't think about it. It kind of motivated me. Yeah, every once in a while, you'd be like,
you thinking about what was going on.
Exactly. Every once in a while, you know, I'll go in there and I'll see somebody and I'll be like, let's just finish. And they'll be like, all right, yeah. they'll be like trying to go out. It'll be like 3 minutes left. So I mean, I don't go anything over 30 minutes. Once in a blue moon, I'm not gonna act like I do 30 minutes every day, but I try to at least do 15 to 20 minutes. So it definitely helps my day, and it helps me, especially if I got a good like motivational speech I'm listening to, or clips, you know, that I'm listening to, or thinking outside the box. But it's definitely a meditation tool for me too as well.
I ain't gonna lie, you give me cold tub vibes. Have you ever did a cold tub? Like
I want to.
I was just about to say
the cold plunge. You talking about the cold plunge?
Yep.
I've done that. I try to do the cold shower.
You give me like you'll be a good partner for like Kevin Hart's Coldest Balls. I don't know if you've ever seen it or not.
I've seen that.
Oh, okay. Yeah, all right. Yeah. You look like you'd be a good partner for Kevin.
I'd like to try it. I'd like to try it. They do have something. Maybe not spend like $500, but they have something on Amazon. Not try to give too much money to Amazon, but sometimes you have to. And yeah, I saw something that was like $150. Yeah.
That was funny that you said you
200.
try not to give as much to Amazon, but boy, I get it, but it's like it's one of them.
He's just another billionaire, just not trying to.
Yeah,
with Mr. Tony Gonzalez's, he's flaunting around Tony Gonzalez's leftovers, and that's another thing is his whole lifestyle is bizarre. Is she attractive?
No.
Is she? She looks like a chick mom.
Not at all.
You see, she's got way too much plastic surgery.
I did not.
And then during the inauguration, she had the the chi-chis out.
Yeah, that was the
and the Facebook Zuckerberg took a little
glance. He took a little.
Yeah, but I mean,
I was like, bro,
I do have
she look like?
I do have my little TMZ tendencies, and I do look at the trollers and their videos. I do find them entertaining. So she's been around. She's from Albuquerque, New Mexico.
New Mexico?
Yeah, Albuquerque, New Mexico.
Crazy
she's from New Mexico.
But
this Punani's been around.
Obviously, she's
Tony Gonzalez. This was back in the 90s.
That's a 90s type.
Yeah, remember?
He's a legend.
He was a stud.
He's a Hall of Famer.
This is when he played for the Chiefs. This is before the Falcons.
Casey, this was before Patrick Mahomes and damn, who's the new Chief? Travis Kelce.
Yeah.
This was Tony Gonzalez with Travis Kelce now.
And also Tony Gonzalez was the first basketball player to transition from basketball to tight end.
I'm trying to think.
One of the first. I don't know if he played.
Antonio Gates.
He definitely went to Hurricanes.
Him and Antonio Gates was like, they was 1 and 2.
And who's that other?
Antonio Gates was a basketball player too. He was a baller.
The light skinned dude that used to Jimmy Graham. Remember?
Oh yeah.
He was another Hurricane. Yeah, that was a basketball player and then went to tight end. So yeah.
Was he a Hurricane?
Yeah.
I know. Yeah. Jeremy Shockey was a Hurricane.
No, he was a Hurricane.
Oh, okay.
And then he went to New Orleans.
I know Shockey was. That was my boy.
Oh, yeah, Shockey.
Giants legend, boy, right there.
Yeah.
Go Blue.
I like that.
J Shock would never, he got a place right here, boy.
So.
But okay. Yeah, nah, man. Like I said, that whole, I ain't know she looked like that until you told me, like, until I looked at her.
Much plastic surgery. She's been passed around, man. And then what's crazy is that she was dating some filmmaker. Like, she's got it down to a science. Just like how you were talking about Little Baby. And for the record, she is my age. She's 38.
Yeah. I know. It was 38.
She got it down.
Find it.
And I didn't do too much research. I was just curious, like, damn. Anthony Edwards, and you know what's crazy? I saw a video of him with a bully. I saw a video of him with a bully, and he looked so innocent and young. He was like, you could tell he could tell he has a good heart. You could tell Anthony Edwards, and I was just like, he's just, it's a lot of money. And he's super talented, and life is coming at him fast.
These women are praying. Yeah. So she's 38. That means she had the baby last year.
Yeah.
So that means Anthony Edwards is 23.
Yeah.
Turned 23 this year.
She knows.
That means she was messing with him.
Yeah,
when
she knows what she's doing,
bro.
Yeah.
Boy, if my mama, listen here, if my mama ever caught me at 21 years old, messing with some chick that, and then knowing that I'm the dude, she coming to whooping some ass.
And the thing is with the
my mama, my auntie,
Jeff
everybody,
Bezos
they all coming to whoop some ass.
Is like, he didn't get her when she was fresh. He didn't get her when he was selling Amazon books. When he had like, you know, like. So I
think he probably got her.
He was introduced to her at a party through a friend.
Built her up the way he wanted.
And he had an affair with her.
Ooh, damn.
So she's definitely like a lot of plastic surgery done, and I don't know, man. In his world, I guess she's like the hottest thing ever, and you know. It's just one of those. Maybe. I just like, man, Mr. Bezos. I mean, my celebrity crush, if I have to confess my celebrity crush, and I was a billionaire like Mr. Zuckerberg and Jeff Bezos and Mr. Darth Vader, Elon Musk.
I was like, Darth Vader. I was like,
Nicole Neisinger. The lead singer of the Pussycat Dolls.
Is that how you say her name?
Yeah.
She's
Russian, and
I be butchering the hell out of her name.
Yeah, it's like a Russian. It's a different type of Russian last name. Like mine's Milozowski, Neisinger.
Neisinger.
Yeah, Nicole Neisinger.
Neisinger.
But she's a military kid as well, but Filipino and Russian, man. And when I found that out, I was like, I'm hooked. So, but that's the thing is, but she has natural beauty. Like, she doesn't get plastic surgery. She takes care of herself.
Yeah.
Like, she's like J-Lo. Like, I got to give J-Lo credit. Like, maybe she's got a little work done here and there, but for the most part, J-Lo takes care of herself.
J-Lo had a lot. If she had, I don't know.
And if it is, it's very subtle.
Very
and it looks
subtle.
Yeah, very natural.
But I
Jeff
ain't
Bezos,
no expert, but I know it when I see it.
Yeah, Jeff Bezos' little trophy wife. That's straight like a plastic Barbie doll.
That's like a builder.
Yeah, she's like this.
Yeah.
Like, and then she wears like these whore outfits, like coming out, and then just like, can y'all just do something for humanity, or just pretend you care, or do something? Like, no one cares about your 20 or $100 million yachts with the helicopters. Yes, it's cool, but it's just like you're dressing like, and she's like. She has to be in her early 50s, and she's like wearing a thong out there. And like, what do you think for your son? I think her son's like 23 or 22.
I'm sure.
And like, you don't think her friends are like, you know, in our age, when we were a teenager, the MILF jokes. I mean, unfortunately, I got some of those with my mom, but like, you know how kids are.
Yeah,
and then eventually you're like, yo, stop talking about my mom like that. But like,
the story is starting to get to another level.
Dude, imagine that kid. I don't even know her name. Jeff Bezos' trophy wife. That's who I'm gonna call her, or Miss Chickmunk. And dude, his friends, her son's friends, have to say something. But like, yo, your mom,
of course,
yo, here's your mom in the thong. Like,
course, man.
Here's your mom in the White House with her chichis out,
chichichonis.
Yeah. So
man, it's funny that you talked about you said about your celebrity crush and everything. You went on there, man. Everybody that know me, man, if they know me, they know that Angela Bassett. That's probably the only person I feel like I would ever like go like oh my God.
What movie is that?
Angela Bassett, man. That's oh my goodness. That's the queen, man. Like that's Queen Ramonda for one of not Zamunda, but of Wakanda.
Okay.
And then man,
I know who she is, but I want to know like
great actress.
Yeah, man. 90s, right?
Yeah, still up until now, right now.
Yeah.
Hell yeah, man. Angela Bassett, she on
was she in Waiting
TV
to Exhale?
Mm-hmm.
Okay, now I'm starting to put a face on her.
Waiting to Exhale. Yeah. Okay. She was on Waiting to Exhale. Okay. She was Tina Turner on What's Love Got to Do with It back in the 90s. Yeah. And then like oh my goodness.
I do remember her in
911.
I do remember
She's on
her
a
in
TV show right now.
I remember her in Black
right
Panther.
Now.
I remember her in Black Panther.
Yeah. I drew a portrait of her.
Yeah?
Yeah, I got that portrait in my house. Like That's one of them ones that I want to get to her.
Does Nina know about this celebrity crush?
Oh yeah, she know.
Oh, yeah.
Everyone know. Everyone that knows me, they know. Like yo,
I didn't know.
That's the one.
This is an exclusive.
That's the one for me. You know, that's the one. Like I said, that's one of them only people that I probably would like.
Natural too. No plastic surgery. Nobody.
And she's 63 years old. Looks amazing, and she's always looked amazing. That woman right there, yeah, man, please, that woman right there. Like I said, I love my wife. That woman right there, I love me some nigga, but boy, Angela Bassett, she's a queen.
Nice. So yeah, so this week has been kind of.
It's been a little
up and down.
I
was supposed to get this bonus, and I went over it with my.
How's that going?
Yeah, my manager.
'Cause I know you've been talking about.
Yeah, Monday I was like super excited. I was like, man, this is like all this hard work that I've been doing this past 6 to 8 months or this past year. Finally, it's starting to pay off. And then all of a sudden, when you work in a corporate atmosphere,
there you go.
It's like hard knocks, and stuff happens out of nowhere. So the manager that I discussed with this bonus with, I guess they mutually part ways.
Wait a minute, did you get that in writing though?
No, no. But I had my coworker, he emailed payroll, and apparently it's on. So.
Okay. Right.
My grandpa said, it's not yours until you can touch it.
Yeah, until you know it's in your pocket.
When I see it in the bank account, so we're either gonna have to either see what free agency's looking like, or kind of deal with this and try to figure out and go back to the drawing board. But
Yeah.
But I've been up and down. I think I had a conversation with you Wednesday, and I was just like, "Yo, what's up with you?" And I was just like, "Man," he's like, at first you said I was sketchy, and I was like, "Nah, man, I'm not sketchy." I was like, "I'm more anxious than anything," and I was like, "My brain's racing."
I can tell, man.
Yeah.
Like, even the conversations that we was having like earlier in the week, I can tell. Like I was like, "Oh, there's something's up with you."
Yeah.
And I can tell like you're trying to pull in different directions. Like, yo, I need to get this. And all this other stuff. Things was pulling you in different directions. And I'm like,
yeah. So basically, I am grateful. I had a point in my life, like I'm not in survival mode.
Yeah.
We talked about this philosophy before. Yeah. I'm not thriving, but I'm definitely in evolve. So like, I just feel like I'm kind of like treading water. That's what it felt like this week. It's just like, I finally like hit my goal, my financial goal that I wanted to hit, and then it's in jeopardy, but then it's not. But we're about to find out, this coming Friday on payday.
When you said that, it made me think of a Pat Poose lyric.
Nice, a different rapper. I saw that comment here. Hey, who's your Atlanta friend?
Yeah, shout out to my.
That was hilarious because this
shout
Joe
out to
Budden,
my homie Paco too, man.
Hey, I'm gonna vouch for you. He hasn't talked about it in 3 episodes.
Yo, shout out to my homie Paco, man.
Yeah.
He hit me on the.
He said you still glazing over Joe Budden. That's crazy.
Cause he knew. Cause me and him, we literally grew up. Me and him, we grew up right next to each other. Like he lived in the cul-de-sac, and I was.
And he's from Jersey too.
Nah, he's from Atlanta.
You born and raised in Atlanta. Okay,
yeah, we met in Atlanta.
So he met you when you just came from Jersey.
He a producer and everything.
Nice.
Out in Atlanta and everything. He do his thing.
I like that word.
Spoke to him in a while,
I like that word where you said glaze.
That's still my guy.
That's a good word. I learned a word from him.
But it's all love. But because he knew, like, yo, Pat Poose and Joe Budden, those was my 2 guys. Like, and no one else mattered. Like, but nah, it was a lyric by Pat Poose.
Got a little wild girl on his hands.
Hey, he always got a wild thing.
Yeah.
You see, Remy don't mind. She don't mind going to jail. She don't mind shooting the motherfucker.
She cheated on him with a battle rapper.
Exactly. Look at mini me's and shit.
Yeah.
Like she don't mind.
I
and
do
then
like Papoose on the remix of the Busta Rhymes.
Oh yeah, touch it.
And then he had like, I got Staten Island. I can't rap. I'm sorry, even if I had a ghost rapper. But he had like Staten Island on my pinky
Staten
dude.
Island on my pinky, Queens on my thumb.
Yeah,
dude.
there you go.
In my middle screaming finger, fuck you, bro. I used to Manhattan, so they the ring finger. You know, I had to keep Brooklyn on the trigger finger.
That's the quote. That's the right quote.
That ain't the quote. That ain't the quote, but you
I definitely would have been able to put, even if I had flashcards on the mirrors.
That flowed perfect.
Yeah, perfect.
Yo, that's it.
But at least you knew the bar I was talking about. That was it. Eminem was on it. Lloyd Banks was on that.
It was Eminem, DMX,
and they did it on the BT Awards.
Yeah, it was Eminem, DMX, Rod Digger, Missy Elliott, Split
Missy Elliott,
Busta.
She's a Virginia treasure.
Yeah.
Virginia
but okay, so the quote was, and it kind of go with what we was talking about, is I forget the whole bar, but it was no, I'm not a grown man, I'm a growing man. And it was like a little bit of wordplay, and it was like that bar resonates with me a lot, because you know a lot of times we say, man, I'm a grown ass man, dog, or some shit, but are you really grown, or are you still trying to elevate? Are you still trying to get to a point in your life where you're still growing as a man? Like, you know, every day, like, you know, we facing challenges, like with our families, we got families and stuff like that. Nowadays, we in our mid-30s, mid-late 30s and stuff like that. Yeah. Every day, our manhood's getting tested, and, you know, we got to grow and elevate and be able to move with the obstacles and stuff that surround us and stuff like that, because we getting thrown every single day. Just like the other day when I got tested in the shop. Some clown, he came up in here on some, you know, I'm out, fresh out shit, and talking about he want to get a cut and everything. So I'm like, bro, all right, cool, you know, I got you, you know, whatever. So he tell me what he want. He tell me he want a low taper, on the side. So first time dude. So anytime with my first time people, I always let them see what I'm doing first. So if it's a fade or something like that, I'll do a whole fade first and then say, yo, is this good? You want the length down? You want it high, low, down? Is this good placement? Cool. If that's cool, let's go on to the next spot. First time dude, I show him that one taper on the side. He's like, I mean, yo, and then he was on some like real, like rah aggressive, like, yo, I'm sensitive about my haircuts, man. I want my haircuts to be what they are and everything. I want it to be good. I'm like, all right, whatever, bro. In my head, I'm sitting there, I'm like, all right, I see what's going on.
Can we talk about his height too?
Yeah. Cause my man, he was like, he looked like a little baby pit bull or something like that. He like 5'7" and just 5'7", like kinda, sorta, like skinny, fat, swole, or like, you know what I mean, whatever. But anyway, so he was like, I showed him the little taper. Bam.
Did not come from San Quentin. He came from jail.
Oh yeah. So I showed him a low taper. Bam. Show a low taper. Then he's like, man, this I want it bald. And I'm like, bro, this is bald. I'm like, what you talking about? This is what you asked for. So then he's like, yo, you got like a picture or something? I hate when people, like, you know, anyway. He's like, yo, let me see the picture. You know, all that sort of stuff. That's so like, bro, pull your phone out, man. But anyway, so he goes up to the picture joint. And he go up to the picture joint. And
did he want you to bring the razor out?
Nah. So he goes to the picture and shows exactly what I gave him on the picture. I'm like, bro, what the fuck he want me to do? Like, this gotta be a joke. Like, I'm sitting there in my head, I'm like, yo, this has to be a joke, because this is exactly, in the picture, that's exactly what I gave him. So I'm like, yo, this has gotta be a joke, because this in the picture, that's exactly what I gave him. So I sit him back down, like, I'm looking at the picture, I'm like, okay, all right, come sit back down, bro, I got you. I spend another 5-10 minutes maybe fucking around with it. Then I do the other side this time. And then I did the back taper. So I get done. I show him what he got. He's like, man, bro, this ain't what I asked for. This ain't what it is and all this other stuff. I said a low ball taper fade. I'm like, for one, you feel, I'm like, oh, you done already. You said low ball taper fade. Now you change it up to low ball taper fade. I'm like, bro, I know what you want. You want a low temp. You want a low. I'm like, you want a low taper fade. You want a low taper. And I told him, I was like, bro, I done gave you what you asked for. I gave you what was on the picture. I'm like, what are you talking about? He was like, yo, that's what I want. And then he pointed over to one of the other barbers. He was doing what he was doing. I was like, bro, what I can do is I can go ahead and take it up higher. He was like, nah, I don't want to take it. I don't want you taking it up higher. I want it low. I'm like, bro, there ain't nothing else you can do. So he's like, man, you trash, bro. You trash. Man, I took my cape off real quick. I was like, man, you know what I mean? Go on over to it. Go on. He was like, I want him to do it. I was like, go on over to him, man. Bro, I don't even care no more. Get going out my chair, bro. I grabbed the other homie. I grabbed the other dude, gave him a nice clean fade. The next dude. Because I'm like, man, and at that time, it's like, shit like that, you know, like I said, being tested as a man, growing as a man. Could I have showed my ass a little bit? You know, could I have showed my ass a little bit? Yeah, I could have. Yeah, I could have showed my ass. But like I said, the only things that really even get me to that point is like anything about my kids, bro. Because I don't give a fuck. Because I know motherfucker ain't gonna touch me. You ain't stupid. You ain't stupid.
Little man.
You know, I'm not worried about that at all. So you can rah and bark like a dog all you want to. I don't care. But that's just with anybody. I'm not worried about anybody touching me. So it's like and yelling? Man, stop. Man, I'm too grown for that, man. I'm not out here going to be yelling and going back and forth with nobody. I'm grown as hell. I am a growing man, bruh. I'm learning every day to be able to calm myself and to hold my composure. You know, trying to de-escalate situations, you know, so things don't get, if he's here, why am I going to meet him here at the same time and give him what he wants? And now we up in here showing out in front of clients and customers and other barbers, and there's a scene going on and everything. Bruh, if you want to get here, fine, that's cool, man. Hey, give me my cake, go on, I'll grab the next dude. And that's exactly what the fuck I did. I grabbed the next dude because I don't care that much.
And the universe will take care of him.
It's going to correct it.
Yeah.
You know?
It's all going to play itself out.
It's like, it's one of them things. It's like,
yeah, so Friday I took off. I went to the beach, Coco. Mm-hmm. Bro, that's like my spot right there. Not Coco in general. Not the Coco, spot. Just because it's easy. It's an hour and 5 minute drive, and it's free parking. And you know, I kind of like know the area now. Yeah. But you know, when I hear the waves, man, it just puts my brain at ease. Like. I can really like meditate, and I walk, and I can't just sit there and just try to like tan like everybody else, just sitting there just like that. I gotta walk. So, you know, I put like, you know, just like when I have the dog, when I'm walking the dog, put the phone away, I just walk on the beach, man, get my thoughts together. I try to get into this book, this audio book. It's called 5 Rings. Mm-hmm. Basically, it's a Japanese philosophy. It's I think he was a Japanese philosopher around the 1500s or maybe early 1600s. Mm-hmm. It was hard to get into. You know those books that you're just trying to get the analogy, but they got a lot going on.
Is it like a hard read or something like that?
Yeah, I feel like I just need to listen to it. A lot of jargon. You know. I you know, there's some things that basically what I took from it, I'm like halfway through the book. Basically, for success, the best strategy is repetition. And just like how you made a calm and collective dealing with, you know, that you know, not even a customer, just somebody that was just trying
definitely a customer.
Well, not a customer for you.
Yeah.
But dealing with somebody like that, or just like, you know, it's stuff that, but you know, being irrational, you're not going to be able to make a strategic decision. So basically, you know, the book was saying like we got to make strategic decisions, just like not even just like fighting as a ninja, or you're just using like the philosophy of being strategic and putting yourself, not getting too high, not getting too low, just that happy medium. And that's when I feel like as men or women too, or anybody, you know, kids, anybody, you know, they can apply this to their life. And finding that, you know, you're calibrating, you know, your dream, basically. You're trying to get to where you want to be, but, you know, like in my situation, it's just like, damn, I've been waiting so long and I'm ready for things to start rolling, for better or worse. So, you know, I was able to, you know, read a little bit of that, but I really got into one of my martial arts heroes is Bruce Lee, and his biography, and his story is mind-blowing to me. You know, he came from nothing. He really did, just like Mike Tyson. And here's a little throwback, you know, to pay homage to, like, you know,
the GOATs, the greats.
The greats.
They legends, living legends. Well, not
living.
And
he was a trendsetter. He was before his time. He was doing things that were unheard of, just like how Asian people were portrayed in Hollywood as being servants and stupid, and Bruce Lee like put a stance on it, just like Malcolm X. He was one of those like trailblazers, like that just said, no, I'm not gonna do roles like that. I'm not. I was like, I'm a martial artist, and you're not gonna portray me or my people like that. And he was getting it from both sides. So basically, I just give you a little summary of his life. He was born in San Francisco, and then his dad was a filmmaker, but on a smaller scale. So, but they moved back to Hong Kong, but he basically, even though he was American, he was born in America, but he had dual citizenship. But then after 18, his parents sent him to a family friend to work at a Chinese restaurant in Seattle. So then he got into, you know, Kung Fu, and he started, you know, studying the art, and and this is before they even had like karate gyms and all this. So he was like one of the first bringing like the East culture to the West culture. So, but it wasn't that profitable. So then he had a second gym. He opened up a second gym in Oakland, and he was just
Oakland.
What? And
what year?
So this is, he was born, I believe he was born in 1940.
So this is like what, the 60s? 60s,
yeah,
70s.
This is like 61, like early 60s.
Okay.
So, and he you know, he started the gym, and then it wasn't that too successful, and then he always had his prize on Hollywood. He always wanted to be in the action movies, and you know, so he had this. Batman and Robin came out in the 60s.
Oh yeah, in the 60s. Yep.
Yes.
Yep. I was just about
so they had a deal in Hollywood, but his family. And this is another thing. He married a white woman during the early 1960s when interracial dating was not a thing back then. So he was getting it from everybody. He was like, why are you teaching Caucasians? Why are you, like, the Chinese people, the triads, the people that, you know, that are the true martial artists that want to keep everything secret? He was like, you're with a Caucasian woman.
Keep it in the family.
You're teaching these Caucasian people how,
culture,
and
their culture.
You're on Hollywood, so like he was just like, he was getting it from all sides, but he brought everybody together. He was all about unity, and that's what, like, you know, that's what I loved about Bruce Lee. He was bringing everybody from all different types of cultures. So he just took he just rolled the dice, and he was in Hollywood hoping there. Luckily, the Batman movie, you know, it skyrocketed. It made, you know, so like this was back when they were wearing like underwear. Where Robin was wearing underwear. You couldn't pay me to wear those.
Oh, you crazy.
Yeah. So then they decided to start the Green Lantern sitcom or show. Mm-hmm. You know, it only lasted a year, but he got notoriety. But this is where he really got jump started, and this is where he got the fire to make it work in Hollywood. Is like when he went back to Hong Kong. I think his dad died, but when he went back to Hong Kong, where he was from, and he saw his funeral, everybody treated him like a celebrity. Do you know how like some like D-list celebrities are like just kind of like D-list celebrities? But like if they go like if they go to Germany, they're like superstars.
So he became like the hood star.
Yeah, like a Chinese, like from that time he was like in Chinese, he was in Chinese Hollywood. Yeah. So then he made some movies, it made a little ground, but so he didn't really like in that time, so like he was famous in China, but in America, no one really knew him. They knew him from Green Lantern, but he wasn't like an A-list celebrity. So then he had like all this downtime. So like one of his friends was like, why don't you go teach celebrities how to fight one-on-one, like go to their house. So this is when he met Chuck Norris.
I was about to say, and the
Kareem Abdul-Jabbar. I've seen him at LAX.
You seen Kareem?
Yeah, at the airport. One time. I was LAX. I saw him at the airport. He's tall. He's definitely tall.
7'1".
But I was just like, I had to take a double leg. I was like, oh, that's him. But
that looks familiar.
Yeah, and he was like this. So this is when he became mainstream and international superstar, is entering the Dragon, and that's when Chuck Norris was in it. Yeah. Kareem Abdul-Jabbar, and this is when he became an international superstar. But you know, when his work ethic, you know. He worked his, you know, he worked out 7 days a week, and he was the first one in Hollywood, to be shredded.
Yeah,
like no one, like
people don't got that type of physique. You know, like a lot of people still.
And there was no one after Bruce Lee unfortunately passed away for taking some type of Tylenol. Mm-hmm. There was no one even like in the talks until Jean-Claude Van Damme. So think about it, 1960s all the way to early 90s, late 80s, Bloodsport, Van Damme. He was like the only one. And then obviously Jackie Chan, was more like our time period. Even Jean-Claude Van Damme was a little before our period.
He was still a little bit before
like I remember watching Bloodsport, but I knew it was on VHS as a kid, and I was always obsessed with kickboxing. I always loved kickboxing and watching like karate movies and stuff.
Our equivalent to the Bruce Lee's was the Jet Li,
Jackie Chan. And when Jackie Chan, remember when he did a movie with DMX?
Oh yeah, man. That was God. Is that no? And that was Jet Li.
Oh, Jet Li, yeah. And that was a song with Aaliyah.
Yeah. I was like, wait a minute, no, not Jackie.
Yeah,
Jet Li actually, I think, did he do two? I think he did 2 movies with DMX. I know for sure it was the one.
And then
Romeo Must Die and stuff, but
in my eyes, he's the best athlete that ever touched this earth. And some people want to say Jordan, some people want to say whoever, Cal Ripken Jr. But in my eyes,
Bruce Lee. I can't be mad at that.
And
be mad at that.
He also, there's a, here I go.
There's definitely an argument for that.
Yes.
So I can't even be mad.
He also had some handicaps, but he didn't make excuses for it. His leg was 1 inch shorter than him, and he was also
an inch.
Yeah,
an inch is
and he was that fast, and he didn't have good eyesight either. So dude, he was just constantly dealing with roadblocks, and he just like that figure out attitude. And we talked about this a little bit today. I said he was so fast. The way he did his karate moves is that the directors had to tell him to take it down a notch because it didn't look right. The film didn't match because he was moving so fast. So he had to slow it down just to be able to film these movies.
Now imagine having to slow it down at 24 frames per second. Nowadays, I don't know what was filmed back then. But
he came right when color, when they started doing first
24
color.
frames a
he was
second.
right in that decade of when they went from black and white to color.
Yeah, which is already slowed down to get like more vision, like a slow down from our vision to catch up a little bit, essentially. And if they had to tell him back then to slow down because it's moving too fast on camera, that's insane.
And his gym routine makes me feel lazy. It makes me feel like I'm not doing anything.
Please, of course, man. Of course.
Ridiculous.
You can't, man, please. Not too many people can compare their gym regimens to Bruce Lee's and stuff like that. No.
So then, also, with Bruce Lee, not only he was a physical specimen, but he wasn't gifted. He worked for it.
Yeah.
So it wasn't like he was just like God-given gift.
Like the genetics was all crazy.
I mean, he did have some good genetics, but he just constantly training 7 days a week in the gym, and making me reassess on like how I'm like, you know, with how I'm doing with my life. But this is what I've heard. Everybody's heard this philosophy quote from Bruce Lee is move like water. Mm-hmm. So when I go on these trips or I'm between calls, I'm listening to philosophy. I'm not always listening to music or current events or anything like that. Sometimes you need to take back and like the greats that we've had on this earth, and you need to take quotes from their life or their philosophy and apply it to you.
Yeah,
so basically, you move like water. You know, if the climate, like this is an analogy. So like, right now we're not in the best economy. So we just need to move like water. We need to adjust. We need to think outside the box. We need to think we don't need to think how everybody, we don't need to let the news scare us. We don't need to say, oh, what's Trump gonna do today? No, we need to control our own destiny. We need to focus on us. And we need to build our network with like-minded people like us, so we can grow as a community, so we can change people's lives, so we can take things into our future, and we can control our future. So, it had my brain going like physically and mentally, and it just like every once in a while, bro, like whoever you want to look like in history, whoever's your great is like sometimes we need to take back and like when life was simple. And, think about all the hardships, that Bruce Lee had to go through, and how people just constantly like, no, we're not going to put a Chinese man in Hollywood, so,
That's how I look at it with like this barbering career, this podcast and stuff like that. Things, just anytime I wanted to venture out and do something like, the hardship, the hardships, the no's, the you trashes and stuff like that, like little random things like that.
That's how you.
And by the way,
that's how you sharpen your blade.
I was just about to say, and by the way, your boy ain't trash at all.
Yeah.
I got a couple of guys out here. I got some clients and stuff. I'm good, and everybody know that here too. But anyway.
The dude's a peon.
Yeah, homie was just cheating on some little man.
Matter of fact, that's the last we're gonna talk about that.
Yeah, but it's those type of things that you need. I always, and it's like as you call your relationships too. Sometimes you need all that bad stuff to happen to you. You need them no's. You need them people to call you trash. You need them people to hate on you. You need them people to you need to go through bad relationships with baby mothers and things like that for you to reflect and be like, how do you react to that?
And become the reigning phoenix.
Become better from that. In my just relationship wise, I was able to look back at some of the things that I went through, and I saw some things like, all right, maybe there was a couple of things that I needed to clean up my act too, but then I look back, I'm like, all right, well, she used to do this to her. I mean, my last baby mother, she used to do this type of thing. And I'm like, man, I can't get with that. Let me make sure I stay away from something like that if I see that in the next.
If you see the red flags.
Yeah, if I see that red flag, I'm like, I might want to pause and fall back from that. You know, so you got your eyes open. You know, just like situations in the shop or whatever. If I see somebody else trying to come up in here or something like that on some rah-rah, if somebody else, y'all can get them. Y'all can get them. I don't want to put that on somebody else, but y'all can get them. Or you run from a different client in the plumbing field or something like that.
Yeah.
You see something different and you're like, oh, I've seen this before. All right, the last time I did this, it didn't work. Let me go ahead and back away from that and go at it a different approach. And you get different, and maybe that don't work neither.
Yeah.
Maybe that don't work neither. You might get into the next relationship or something like that, and shit, you see some stuff that don't work in that one neither.
That philosophy, right? Move like water. You gotta move like water. You gotta adjust to the situation. And then eventually, every relationship is a fingerprint. So that's why, like, the philosophy of adjusting to water, how you form the bottle. The water becomes the bottle.
It conforms with it. And I always say, I don't have any exes, I have lessons. Because every setback, I don't ever call them setbacks neither. I say, yeah, I may have one setback, but I got two steps forward. Everything is a lesson for me to be able to grow from. You know, if you can't grow from a no and figure out how to get a yes, then you ain't doing. You're not thinking about
you're also content being in survival mode.
Yeah.
Because you can't complain about being in survival mode unless if you're doing the same stuff. That's crazy.
Exactly.
That's the definition of crazy.
Little sister.
So you got to switch it up. You got to think outside the box. You got to think like water. No, you don't got to think like water. You got to be water. So you got to adjust to it. Obviously, I wish the economy was bumping and I could take 6 on-demand calls and I could sell 5 repipes a day and 20. But right now, I got what I got, and this is what we got.
And this is exactly.
And then on a positive note, it's gonna force us to think outside the box. So not every year we're gonna have a good economy where things are just gonna be flowing and all you have to do is just show up and just work a little extra hours. Sometimes you gotta when it's slow and things, and then you almost feel like if you're content, that's bad. If you're content with the situation and you're just trying to be a feather in the wind, then those are horrible habits. And you need to think outside the box. I mean, I keep saying think outside the box, but people don't do it. People don't think. People don't put themselves.
That thinking outside the box is literally why we're here in front recording this video right now.
Yeah.
We are thinking outside the box, trying to create for our families and whatnot, and trying to build and get network with other people in our community, because we are trying to think outside the box. Because this, like I said, this ain't nothing that neither one of us went to school for or ever thought twice about before.
Or go see a speech therapist
6 months ago or nothing like that.
Yeah, or speech coach.
We didn't have speech coaches and stuff. We just freestyled this whole thing. We just randomly sat down and said, "Hey, man, this looks good. We should try this."
And we're cool. And what else I want the people to realize is we're cool enough with each other and be like, "Hey, Austin, you know, maybe you did too much of this. You went off, or you talked too much." And I take that constructive criticism, and I take it. And it's not like we're comfortable enough where we could talk to each other and we know we're not going to offend each other or anything like that. We're not going to take offense to it. If anything, we're trying to make each other better.
Exactly. That's
the whole goal with us.
Iron, steel, sharpen steel.
Yeah.
You know, that's how it should be. If you got a homie that's your man's. Yeah. They should be able to tell you yo, Ron, man, I don't know about that. That wasn't the move, bro. And you was wrong for that. Or if you did something stupid, yo, you need to, check that. That wasn't it. That
exactly.
Wasn't Yo, Austin, I don't know about that, bro. You you know you was wrong, but whatever. And me and him had plenty of them conversations, you know. So it be like that, and we should be able to, as adults, you know, you shouldn't get offended if somebody, especially if it's your homie. If it's like your homies and stuff like that, and they trying to like, yo, Brian, I don't know about that, bro. That ain't the one. That ain't the move, bro. Yo, listen to him.
Yeah.
Somebody else.
I know when you give me the advice, it's in the best intentions. And it's all love. You know what I'm saying? Like I never take offense to it, and we have really good conversations, and that's why we started putting it on tape.
That's why we
because
exactly
we used to have it, you know, on the phone.
We just had these joints on the phone all the time, coming in and out of jobs and stuff, going in and out of jobs and work and stuff. So
even when you filmed the first 20 minutes, that wasn't even planned.
It was not.
That whole thing was just random.
He pulled up like 6:30, 7 o'clock in the morning.
It was actually cold. It was like 50 degrees. That's cold in Florida.
We was over there in jackets and hoodies and stuff. Yeah. And we just talking, because we always talk before a haircut. And I was like, damn, man, we into some deep stuff. I was like, let me turn my camera on and see what's.
I think you and I really connected when we talk about philosophy a lot. Yeah, just philosophy, quotes. You know, you're more of a poet than me and a better writer. So that's why I lean on you on that. But sometimes I'm kind of like that random thought that kind of almost triggers you, and then that's what jumpstarts the conversation. That's what. And then we gotta just bounce ideas and facts and what you know from each other. So, like I said, bro, you make me better. And then I hope to make you better.
Vice
you
versa.
know,
No.
and I try to do the best that I know, what I know. You know.
Exactly.
You remember that 50 Cent? When French Montana used to be on Coke Boys?
Coke Boys, yeah. Yeah. Which one?
Where he was talking about his grandpa, and he was basically, if someone can't make you better, then why the fuck are you hanging out with them? Yeah, and I'm trying to be PG-13, but you know how 50 Cent was. But that's why I'm saying, with French Montana, man, you know, the Coke Boy videos, those were good videos back in the day, bro. It was kind of cool, but that interview was just 50 Cent just telling them, basically preaching, not even preaching, just his philosophy and his mentality was you know, your network should make you better. You shouldn't be that shouldn't be a normal thing. And I have lived that lifestyle where I just thought, you know, I work 40 hours or 50 hours a week. I can go to the bar, hang out with the fellas, joke around, go party with the women, and that's normal behavior, but that's counterproductive behavior. So and sometimes I do want to do that. Sometimes I do want to party, but then in the bigger scope of things, that's just gonna keep me stagnant, and stagnant is not what I like. Exactly. And I like to flow like a waterfall in a stream. Yeah. Stagnant, you know, the analogy. You don't want algae. You don't want algae growing on you. You want to be smooth, crystal clear, like spring, and you want to be flourishing. So.
Yeah, no, because I go. I don't know who said this quote, but I've heard it so many times that it just sticks with me now. And I try to go by this every day. And I'm like, yo, if you're the smartest person in the room, then you're in the wrong room.
Yeah.
Because
there's nobody
for you. There's nowhere for you to grow.
Well, you hit the ceiling and you can't evolve anymore. You are the ceiling. Yeah, but you can't evolve anymore. Yeah, you can't evolve anymore. In your environment that you're in right now. So you're in that box. Mm-hmm. So you need to get outside, like the Truman Show.
Mm-hmm. Like my quote says.
Anyway. But remember the Truman Show? Like he just wanted to leave. He wanted to get out of there. Like, no, you can't. And then he felt alive.
Yeah.
So sometimes I feel like you
have to be able to get yourself
in life.
Put yourself.
We can almost be in like a slump where you're like, well, at least I got money in the bank. At least I got a full tank. I got food, but we always want more and better for ourselves. And obviously, I want better for myself.
I would hope.
I want better for myself in the aspect. I'd like to help people too. I want to help people. I want to motivate people. Yeah. Not to say I'm trying to be Tony Robbins, but I feel like we could help some people. Like if we really find some people that were lost.
I like to think that me as a barber and like the cats that really sit in my chair and I sit there and I talk with them, I like to think that they do hear me, because I tell them, man, I ain't preaching. I'm just telling you what I've been through and what I've seen. You know, I've seen this and that. I've seen what happens when, you have children at a young age. I've seen like how hard it can be for someone that has, if you got children and wife and all this stuff at a young age. I've seen how hard it is because I've lived it.
Also how you had to stretch your W-2 checks, your tax checks, remember? Yeah, for sure. But yeah, no, because little shit stuff like that, I've been raising 2 kids in California on a different coast.
And no.
Oh, you didn't have the 2 kids?
No. Yeah. We was all out there. I thought you meant when we came over here. But yeah, when we was all out there, cause, and I seen what having
this is really good.
A vindictive baby mother can be like, and it's like, yo, if I can try and help you out so you ain't gotta like ever go through what I had went through, I'm like, shit, man, stay away from that. Now, if it happens, it happens. Don't ever say Ron ain't try to help. They ain't try to tell nobody. That's how I look at my cousins. I tell my cousins all the time, like, don't ever say Ron ain't tell you about. Y'all seen my cousins. They seen me. So it's like y'all see what I go through. Let alone, but the people that sit in my barber chair and I sit there and I talk with them, I'm like, hey, yo, this is what I've been through, young brother. Like, you don't want to be like that. That's a mess, or either like, cause it's so much easier when you don't have to worry, when you don't have no one else to worry about. And it's literally just you. With just you, all you gotta worry about, especially being young, all you gotta do is go to work and then work on whatever you got going on.
Follow your dreams.
Sure enough. When you get older, that's when you got mortgages, you got rent, you got
college tuition.
You got to go to school. You got to pay it for school or whatever. If you decide to go the school route, you got to pay back the whatchamacallits and stuff. So,
and you can't claim bankruptcy. Because that tuition.
They don't care about that. Oh no, we still gonna get our money.
Yeah, till you go to the grave.
Sure enough, dog. Can you believe
it follows you until
I think I just paid my last whatchamacallit. And I went to a 2-year, all right, this is backtrack a little bit. Cause I went to the Art Institute of Atlanta, and that's a private school in Atlanta for graphic designs. And I came right out of high school. So I graduated in May, and then in June, I was in there in the summertime. And I was already, at this juncture, I should have never went to college. Right after high school, I should have never did that. Me personally, that's just me.
But did you have that college moment though?
Yeah. I had a couple moments and stuff like that.
Partying.
Yeah.
Drinking some kegs.
Yeah. Well, I wasn't drinking kegs and stuff.
Going to frat parties.
I ain't never drink like that. But
do they even have fraternities out there in the art school?
No. So I stayed in the dorms. Over in off of Peachtree. And
this is downtown Atlanta?
Mm-hmm.
Nice.
Mm-hmm. Next to the Target. I can't remember where it is, but yeah, it was Spelman, Morehouse, the AIA Art Institute, and I forget what other school. Maybe Clark. A little bit of Clark Atlanta stayed in that one too. So yeah, like I said, for me, I didn't have all the same equipment and everything to convert the programs from this computer over to like a Macintosh, a Mac computer, Apple Mac computer. So me, I was slowly not going to class or not completing. I was not completing assignment, and I was not completing the class, and I was just being young and a knucklehead and stuff like that, and not really. Once I missed one class, it was like, why not? So I racked up about a year and a half worth of school payments and stuff. So mind you, I didn't even get an associate's.
How much was it? How much was that?
I think I spent about 18 months in school, and I think I had about 37,000.
Ooh, wait.
Yeah, it was a private school.
I mean, obviously hindsight's 20/20.
Yeah, and I just.
Do you think any of that
I'm
stuff?
30. I turned 36 a couple weeks ago, and I just finished.
Any of that stuff? Do you feel like could have been self-taught?
Oh, it was. Yeah. As soon as I got out the military, I started doing the same exact stuff that I was doing. I was like, motherfucker, ain't this some shit?
Yeah.
The same exact stuff because like when I was starting to do my artwork right after the military, when I came down here, I started doing my artwork. And I started looking back at it. I'm like, you know what's crazy? I spent all that money in them 18 months. I get out the military. Well, I was trying to figure it out in the military. I was doing my artwork while I was still in the military, but I was like focused, so I was already transitioned to my artwork. And then I self-taught myself pretty much everything that I knew back in.
But you always knew how to draw.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. Anybody know me? I got awards and everything. And that's how I am. I'm just an artist, you know.
So you can paint too?
Oh yeah.
Yeah?
Oh yeah. No, I painted murals, all kinds of stuff. I paint.
Did it ever cross your mind to be a tattoo artist?
Yeah, it did.
Yeah?
It did. I thought about it in the military.
It seems like a lot of money in that. If you get in the right situation.
My main supervisor, Sergeant Comney, he was one of the ones, we was deployed, and he was like, yo, Ron.
Right by my apartment, they have one. I don't know, because I remember that show. Remember Black Ink?
I thought, yeah. I thought about getting
They have one, but I don't know if it's associated with that show.
Needles, everything. But I was deployed, so I didn't, and then when I got undeployed, I didn't even think twice about it. Like, when they sent me home and stuff.
Ron could have been a tattoo artist.
Yeah. I mean,
do you think if you, like, just hypothetically, nothing's too late?
No.
Yeah, but
I would just
do you think you would have had tattoos, like, all over your neck and your hand? Or you think you would have, like, if you were an artist, let's say, if you would have took that path?
Honestly.
You think you would have been tatted up right now if you were a tattooer?
If I could do it. A lot of times, honestly, the reason why I'm not so tatted up right now is because, like I said, I am an artist.
You want your artwork on you.
I am an artist, so I am sensitive about what would go on my body for the rest of my life. I need to know, like if you see my work, you know I'm not a slouch. Like, you know I'm nice. So that's how I look at it. I like
the Obama and Michelle Obama.
I need to know, like, you just as nice, or you got your own style that I can get with too, you know. And then also, you know, I also look at it like, for me, and this might be a little controversial, why I'm gonna spend all this money to put on my body, you know, if I can't do it myself. If I could do it myself, if I was able to do, like, tattoo my own self and shit, hell yeah. Or if I was good enough to be able to tattoo my own self and shit, hell yeah, I would. Hell yeah. There's plenty of things that I would put. But I'm real particular.
Yeah.
And me being, having my own artistic, I need to be able to know, like, yo, you super cold. You know, so that's like that.
It's cool though. I mean, I like, you know, I've dated girls with tattoos. They're definitely cool, and I'm not like anti-tattoo. I just don't have any.
Yeah.
I don't know. I just don't like the needles, man. I don't like getting my blood blood taken. I don't like shots. I don't like anything. I don't even like when my dog bit me last week. It was just like I was getting queasy, seeing that skin flap, and I was just like, damn, did he hit the bone? And I don't know. I just hate the blood.
Yeah, no,
it's intense.
I didn't mind. I got a tattoo.
And you know
like on my shoulder.
You know, for the rest of your life, you have arsenic in your bloodstream because of the ink.
Holy shit!
It's too late now.
Oh, wow. Interesting. Did not know that.
So yeah.
But yeah, man. Hey, man. We had an hour and some change.
Yeah.
Flowing like water.
Yeah, flowing like water.
Flowing like water. You know what I mean?
Is that the?
That sound like that's the title.
That's the first time we came up with the title
like
of the
right
show.
there,
Like
right there. You know
shook my arm kind of tight.
Oh yeah, I thought you was coming with the. I thought you was coming with the. You know what I mean? So I had to,
Ron just make sure. My damn finger.
I forgot that's the hand too.
No, it's cool.
But yeah,
I felt good getting back in the gym. You know, the scar tissue was a little bit, but I could live like normal, and yeah, I'm just gonna keep. You know, whenever my brain is racing, get back into my philosophy, getting. I always like the underdog stories, bro. Just like Rudy, just like those coming from nothing. Those are like the movies I find most entertaining. Just like, you know, Will Smith, he's a good guy and bad guy in some people's eyes, but some of the movies that he's done, like, you know, 7 Pounds, Pursuit of Happiness, like those are roles that really like changed my life.
Yeah, especially
and they were like,
that
I don't think 7 Pounds was a true story, but Pursuit of Happiness is a real story.
Pursuit of Happiness.
And man, that was one of his best movies ever, bro. Like
that one scene, I try to say it all the time in my head because it was so powerful. When he told his son Jaden. And it almost looked like he was like
when he said I want to be a basketball player, and then he said, "Oh, I'm being negative to my son." Is that the scene you're talking about? Which scene?
It was the one. He said, "Yo, don't ever let someone tell you."
Yeah, that's the basketball. When he said he wanted to be a basketball player, he said, "Dad, I want to be a basketball player." And then he said, "You can't be no basketball player." And then he said, and then his son got all quiet and sad.
Tell you you can't follow your dreams, even me.
I actually have that
when
on
he
one
said
of my
even me, it just made me like, oh shit.
Yeah.
Cause that just showed like, you know, even your closest people, they'll be the ones to be like, man, you can't do that. You can't go 24 episodes. You can't do 12 episodes, then go 24 episodes. You ain't about to go to barber school. You know, you ain't about to have your own shop in another 5 years. You ain't about to move back to Atlanta and create your own shop or your own whatchamacallit, man. So, you know, don't let anybody ever tell you can't do something. Even your closest people. And so, with that being said, I think episode 10, that's a wrap. I like this.
Nice.
Flow like water.
Flow like water.